What if being left out of the Olympics was the best thing that ever happened to Caitlin Clark? Discover how this snub might just be the spark that ignites a historic season for the Indiana Fever. Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts, because what I'm about to reveal is nothing short of mind-blowing. Remember when Caitlin Clark was surprisingly left off the Olympic team? Well, that decision might just be the best thing that ever happened for her and the Indiana Fever. While Team USA is battling it out in Paris, Clark has been quietly transforming into an unstoppable force on the court. And in a stunning twist, Coach Christie sides just let it slip. Clark is dominating everyone in practice. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll understand why her Olympic snub could set the stage for one of the most epic playoff runs in WNBA history. When Caitlin Clark didn't make the Olympic roster, it left many of us scratching our heads. How could one of the most electrifying players in college basketball history be overlooked? But here's where the story takes a fascinating turn. That snub might have been a blessing in disguise. Christie sides recently spilled the tea on Clark's current form, saying, "The rest she got was crucial. She's been hitting shots. She's got her legs under her. Let that sink in." Clark, who's been on a relentless basketball grind since her last college season, finally got a chance to catch her breath. But it's not just about rest. Clark has been grinding during this break. Sides hinted that Clark didn't talk much about her off-season activities. But come on, this is Caitlin Clark we're talking about. A player who lives and breathes basketball. You can bet she was in the gym, sharpening her skills while everyone else was resting. And the results? They're speaking louder than words. Clark is coming back stronger, more focused, and with a serious chip on her shoulder. While her Olympic-bound peers are feeling the pressure of international competition, Clark has been resetting, recharging, and gearing up for what could be a historic second half of the WNBA season. Now, let's consider what this means for the Fever. This is a team that started the season on a rough note, but things have been turning around, thanks in large part to Clark's incredible play. Before the break, Clark was already making headlines. In July, she was one of the standout players, even during what some were calling a shooting slump. Now, just imagine what she's capable of after a well-deserved rest and some serious refocusing. But it's not just about Caitlin Clark's individual brilliance. Coach Christie sides has been playing the long game, and this break was a masterstroke. She brought the team back to training earlier than most, laser-focused on strengthening team chemistry and shoring up their defense. The Fever have been drilling on communication, closing gaps, and perfecting defensive help, all areas that tripped them up in the first half of the season. And here's the kicker. While other teams are dealing with exhausted players returning from the Olympics or managing injuries, the Fever, with a rejuvenated Clark at the helm, are gearing up for a serious playoff push. They're fresh, they're focused, and they've got one of the most talented rookies in WNBA history playing at the peak of her game. This break could be the catalyst that turns the Fever from underdogs into legit contenders. Sure, Olympic experience is valuable, but there's something to be said for uninterrupted, focused training time. Clark's been able to hone her skills without the pressure of international competition or the wear and tear of constant travel. And it's not just her body that's benefited. The mental reset has been crucial. Clark entered the WNBA with enormous expectations. Every move, every shot dissected. Now, she's had the space to reflect on her game, to step back and come back with a new perspective. That mental clarity could be as crucial as any physical edge. And let's not forget about motivation. You think Clark's forgotten about that Olympic snub? Not a chance. Athletes at her level thrive on proving the doubters wrong. Every dominant practice, every shot she nails in upcoming games, it's all adding fuel to her fire. She's not just playing for the Fever now. She's on a mission to show the world exactly what Team USA missed out on. But here's where it gets really interesting. The Fever's resurgence isn't just about Clark. Coach Sides has been cultivating a tight-knit team during this break. They've been bonding off the court through team-building activities and competitive games that have nothing to do with basketball, all to strengthen their unity. A close-knit team communicates better, plays more cohesively, and that's exactly what we're seeing with the Fever. This combination of a revitalized Clark and a more unified team could be the secret ingredient that transforms the Fever into a powerhouse in the second half of the season. And let me tell you, the rest of the WNBA should be very, very concerned. Now, let's dive into what we can expect from Caitlin Clark as the season progresses and as the playoffs loom. If you thought she was impressive before, get ready, because we're on the verge of witnessing something truly special. Let's break down the stats. Before the break, Clark was averaging over 17.1 points and 8.2 assists per game. Those are Rookie of the Year numbers, folks. But here's the kicker: Clark wasn't even operating at full capacity. She was battling fatigue, adjusting to the professional level, and still putting up those numbers. Now, after some well-earned rest and focused practice time, the sky's the limit. Coach Sides dropped a bombshell when she mentioned that Caitlin Clark is hitting shots in practice. For a player of Clark's caliber, that's a terrifying prospect for the rest of the league. We're talking about someone who can casually pull up from the logo, who can thread the needle with passes that leave defenders flat-footed. If Clark's shot is falling consistently, we might witness some record-breaking performances this season. But it's not just about her scoring. Clark's court vision and passing ability are second to none. With the improved team chemistry and growing familiarity with her teammates, her assist numbers could skyrocket. We might just see the first rookie to lead the league in assists since 2005. And let's not overlook the playoffs. The Fever are in the hunt for a spot, and if they make it, they'll be a team no one wants to face. Playoff basketball is a different beast. More intense, more strategic, and it's where legends are born. With Clark playing at this level, rested, motivated, and with a chip on her shoulder from the Olympic snub, she could have a playoff run that we'll be talking about for years. This is a player who thrives under pressure. We saw it in college, especially during that electrifying run to the national championship game. Now, imagine that clutch gene combined with the fire of someone out to prove they belong on the world's biggest stage. Clark could elevate her game to heights we've never seen before when the stakes are highest. As the second half of the WNBA season kicks off, the pressure is on for Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. Every game matters now. The playoff push is real, and the Fever are in the thick of it. But to make it, they'll need to turn Clark's practice dominance into game-winning performances. And let's be honest, the rest of the league knows what she's capable of, and they'll be throwing everything they've got at her to slow her down. Then there's the Rookie of the Year race. Clark's competition, Angel Reese, has been putting up some serious numbers too. This break could be exactly what Clark needs to separate herself from the pack. But it's going to be a battle right until the final buzzer of the season. And perhaps the biggest storyline of all is the Olympic-sized chip on Clark's shoulder. Every game is a chance for her to show the world, and the Team USA selectors, what they're missing. You can bet she'll be watching the Olympics closely, measuring her performances against those who made the cut. And here's the kicker: what if the Fever make a deep playoff run while Team USA struggles in Paris? What if Clark continues to shatter records and captivate fans while the Olympic team fails to make waves? The comparisons will be inevitable, and the pressure on both Clark and Team USA will be immense. We're on the brink of what could be a defining moment in WNBA history. Caitlin Clark, the Olympic snub, leading her team to glory against all odds. This is the stuff sports legends are made of, and we're about to witness it unfold. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think Caitlin Clark's impact will be in the second half of the season? Will she lead the Fever to the playoffs? How many records do you think she'll break? And here's the big question. Do you think Team USA is starting to regret leaving her off the Olympic roster? Drop your predictions in the comments below. Let's get this discussion rolling. Your insights are always valuable, and I love hearing from fellow basketball enthusiasts. And if you enjoyed this breakdown and want to stay updated on all things Caitlin Clark and the WNBA, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.